So I'm recording this because this is super important. So
Okay,
first thing
sir.
is, why participants scored less in reading? What is the reason that many participants scored less marks in reading? So there are few prominent reasons. The first reason is lack of practice. What do you mean by this lack of practice?
Not doing enough papers.
Exactly. So unless you have done enough practice, there's no way you will score good marks in SAT. The most important thing is that you should have
Practice.
enough practice. Now we'll come to that. What exactly is the meaning of enough practice? But this is the biggest reason. Second is lack of focus. Now sometimes, people just get zoned out when they do reading or writing, or sometimes, their preparation is in certain periods, but there is no consistent period of focused efforts. So you have to continuously do things. Like for example, in your case, you have been doing it for like almost 4 5 months now.
Yeah, it started in June.
Yeah, so June, July, August, September, October. So you have been doing practice for like 4 months and have done like 6 7 tests. So you have now that base. So remaining focused for a long period of time is very important. So you understand the test and you understand the pattern. The next reason is no strategies. So we keep on doing a lot of practice, lots of tests. There are people who have done like 10 tests, 20 tests, and still they do not get good marks. Because even after doing practice, if we don't
Yes,
have
sir.
a strategy, it does not work, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
You have to have a very clear strategy to clear the test. Like this works for me. You should know it that this is the strategy which works for you. And they do not know their strengths and weaknesses. So, for example, if you are very good at reading and if you are not reading that using that skill, some people like to read the passage very quickly and they get it very fast and then they answer questions. While going to the questions, they go back to the passage and find out stuff, which means they are like pretty good readers, those who have been into reading novels and that kind of stuff. Have you been reading novels or something?
No, sir, I don't.
Like when you were a chota bacha, were you into reading something or not?
No, I was never interested in it.
Okay, but then you are, as I see, quite analytical. Now, when you read the passages, you get them in one go. It's not that they are out of range and you don't understand what's going on.
Sometimes it happens, sometimes I understand really quickly.
Yeah. So this is something which that what are your strengths and weaknesses. That sometimes you do not understand the passage. If you do not understand the passage, then what is the strategy you are going to apply should be very clear with you. Like for example, if you do not understand the passage, it's not that the whole passage would be unclear. It might be that one or two paragraphs are unclear. So you can do questions based on the paragraphs which you know. You know, even
Yes,
without
sir, yes,
understanding the
sir.
whole passage, you can pretty much do the questions. So that is what it is. Now, then there are some general rules. Like the first rule is you have to make a plan. Now, what plan do I have for you? A simple plan is this. Let us take any 5 tests first
Okay, sir.
and do those 5 tests like 3 times each.
3 times each.
Like you become a master of 5 tests, as if
Okay,
those are the 5 tests which will come in the exam. The
okay.
way you prepare for your school exams, you revise stuff, you revise stuff, you revise stuff, you revise stuff, you revise stuff to such an extent that you become a master of that stuff. And then your intelligence turns into intuition, isn't it? when
Yes,
you
sir.
when you go to your exam, and if there is some question which you have prepared very well, you don't even think. Your hands, it is the memory in the hands which works. Da 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 da. You write the whole answer and you feel good. Oh wow, all that hard work that you did to learn that question is has paid off, isn't it? I want you
Yes,
to
sir,
do
it
this.
happens.
I want you to do the same thing with 5 tests. See
Okay,
what will
okay.
happen. If
So
5,
like how, like what is the time period for it?
so let's say we do these 5 tests in 15 days, because you have
Okay.
already done those 5 tests, right? You would have those 5 tests already done with you. All you have to do is go back to those 5 tests and go through all the questions once, understanding how to how I did those questions. So if you become a master of 5 tests, Dia, you're talking about some strategies of reading and preparation right now, okay? And then we'll go through your test paper. So if you become a master of 5 tests, like you know everything about them, what was the passage, what was the story, what were the transitions, what questions, which questions were difficult questions, which questions were easy questions, where did you get stuck, why did you get stuck? If you become a master of 5 tests, you can replicate the same strategies in any other test, isn't it? Because the nature of the test is not going to change. The questions would remain the same. Hello, is this making sense to you?
Yes, it makes sense.
Like for example, if you want to go for a long drive from, let's say, Delhi to Chandigarh, or not Delhi to Chandigarh, Delhi to Chennai, all right, but you don't know the rasta, you don't know the way from Delhi to Chennai, what kind of road would it be a bumpy road, what kind of road it would be, but you are not given an opportunity to go to from Delhi to Chennai. So let us say you choose any 5 roads first: Delhi to Hyderabad, Delhi to Shimla, Delhi to Patna, Delhi to Hyderabad, and Delhi to Bangalore. Right? So you go there multiple times. So if you are through with 5 paths, the sixth path would be more or less a combination of those 5 paths, isn't it? You would know how
Yes,
to deal with situations,
yes, sir.
right? But these 5 paths have to be done repeatedly so that you become very clear and very much aware about those 5 paths. But if you keep on doing new tests only all the time, then your mind will always be in a challenged mode. It will not be in that relaxed mode. Learning happens when you are very relaxed, isn't it? Or does
Yes,
it happen when you are very anxious?
so when we are relaxed.
Yeah. So your mind will be relaxed when you do the same test the second time. And by the time it is the third time, your mind will tell, oh, ye test to mera friend hai, isn't it? So this is what is the
Yes, sir.
plan I have for you. In next 10 days, do 3 tests, take 5 tests, do them 3 times. You have already done them. It's not, I don't want you to do any new test. The
Okay,
ones which
sir.
you have already done, you have to do those tests again and again and again 3 times till the time you become like, oh, I know this, why this answer is the right answer. You will start remembering all the options also. You'll also start remembering why this option is not a good option. This option is the best option. Why, so your mind would get this feeling that, oh, these questions and these passages are all very logical. There is some kind of structure in this chaos, isn't it? When your mind gets
Yes,
convinced
sir.
that there is some structure to the chaos, it starts acting in a very different way. It knows what to focus on, what not to focus on, and it becomes very fast. So the second thing should be a plan to improve. First was the plan to learn, then the plan to improve, which means you should do like 10 tests twice each. So another 15 days, you can do like kind of 10 tests. So 10 days for this one, 15 days for this one, that becomes 25 days. And you would have another like how much? 15 days more to go. 1.5 months are left, right? 6th of December
Yes,
is the test.
the fourth it
4th of
is.
December. Yeah. So, yeah, first 5 tests. Even if you do not do 3 times, see, this is for somebody who is doing for the first time. For you, 2 times are, doing it 2 times is enough. isn't it? You don't have to do 3 times because you would
Yes,
always
sir.
remember half the passage. For you have already done it once, no? So you don't
Yes,
have to. So
sir.
you can kind of speed it up, right? So this is the plan. I'm not giving you a timeline for it, but this is the plan that you should follow in order to get like 1450 or 1400 above. You know, you can start touching 1500 with this. I've seen people doing it and achieving these kind of scores, but then yes, you have to have a plan. Without a plan, if you keep on doing practice, there is no end to it, and you don't know what path are you embarking on, isn't it? There has to be a start line and a finish line in every journey. So you have a plan to learn, a plan to improve, and a plan to score high. A plan to learn is with 5 tests, plan to improve is with 10 tests, and then plan to score high, which means doing the test in the test environment, is again 5 tests. So overall, you have got 20 tests to be done, but in a structured way. Unless you have done this kind of practice, these 2 steps, there is no point doing this, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So this is the plan I have. Dia, are you there or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So how do you like this plan? Do you have any comments? Do you want to have you understood what is supposed to be done?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So do you think that this will translate into good results for you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is what we will follow. Then the second point is identify your own strengths and weaknesses. Like, for example, if you are a fast reader, you can read the whole passage first and then do the questions. If you don't like reading as such, but you are able to get the idea very quickly by reading a bit, you can always do easy questions first. So, you will have to evolve your own strategy. I have one strategy for you which I would like to recommend, whatever way you take it, but this is what I want you to do. Yeah, this is the plan I want you to follow. 2 minutes for the analysis of the passage and milestoning or setting milestones, and then 10 minutes to answer the questions. Okay, can you analyze a passage in 2 minutes? You have done enough practice. Tell me, Dia and Ananya, are 2 minutes enough?
So to some extent we do get an idea, but उसके बाद answering के time obviously we understand more.
Exactly. Like 2 minutes, I don't want you to answer questions. 2 minutes, I want you to kind of go through the passage, reading first line, last line of every paragraph, getting the idea of what this guy is trying to say, identifying those transition words like however, but, further, furthermore, the fact is, so you're actually not reading the passage, but you are kind of understanding the skeleton of the passage, so that when you read it and when you do questions, you would know, okay, there is some kind of contradiction happening here. They've done some kind of, they are talking about some kind of testing and all that. So 2 minutes are like warm up. Before doing an exercise in a gym, we always do a warm up, right? So this is the strategy I want you to follow. Now whatever you are, I mean, whatever your strengths are, uh, I want you to follow this particular plan. In case you are a fast reader, then in those 2 minutes you can read a lot. And in case you are a slow reader, you can read less. But then this is the, like, a fundamental plan that I have for you. Whenever you do a passage, right? This is what I want you to do. Okay? Dia, do you get it?
Yes, sir.
I think pretty much you must be doing this only, isn't it? How do you do a passage? Do you go straight to the questions, or do you first like spend 2 minutes doing, like, what is the strategy that you are currently following?
First I read and then I do the questions.
Yeah, but then read it in 2 minutes only, not more than 2 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And then you should spend like 10 minutes analyzing the questions and answering them. Okay, so this is what we have already done this. Now let's quickly talk about strategies. What are the strategies that we use? So there are reading strategies, answering strategies, being big picture or small picture reader, focusing on the questions or focusing on the passage, and evidence first and answer later. So we will study these things in details, reading and answering strategies in a while. But then I would like to talk about these 3 points. So big picture reader, what do you mean by this being a big picture reader? Those 2 minutes that you spend, you're not supposed to understand the nitty-gritties of the passage. It is enough to just get the basic idea, right? You don't have to read every line even in that part, in that phase. Does that make sense, Ananya?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so in those 2 minutes, you will just have a basic picture there. Then you will start focusing on questions. And when you do questions, first find the evidence, then find the answer. This is again very important. And here, how you answer a question. This is what I wanted to emphasize actually. When you read the question, don't read the options. There are exceptions to this rule also, that sometimes you have to read the options, like which of the following statements make sense with regard to something said by someone. So you have to read each statement in that case and you have to eliminate it. But in most of the cases, it is good to understand the question, go to the passage and read the passage, like you are clear about the evidence, and then you choose the options. In general, what happens? Many a times we simply read the question, we read the options, and then we go to the passage. Does that happen?
Yes, sir.
So here what I'm suggesting you to do is just read the question stem, don't read the options. First go to the passage, read the passage, and then you come back to the question and use process of elimination to eliminate the wrong choices from it, right? Sometimes, so you would always, so if there are 4 choices, let us say, if the choices look like this, A, B, C, and D, you know how to use process of elimination, you know, acting like a doubting mother-in-law. First, eliminate the incorrect choice. Don't think what should be the right choice. Think about the bad choices and eliminate them first. Then you would be left with 2, and out of these 2, select the one which is the best. Use these signs like A and D totally gone. B and C are probable answers. Now B has sounds better because its tone and there are words which match the question. You select that. So always use this technique rather than going with selecting the right answer. Choose the wrong, eliminate the wrong answers. Then you would be left with 2 out of these. Select one which is the best choice. That is the sequence that you should follow to answer the questions. Yeah. Okay. So this we have done, this we have done, sequence of answering. Yeah. How to deal with difficult vocabulary? What do? As it is written here, ignore the difficult words. You don't even have to pay attention to those words. It is the meaning which is more important, not 1 or 2 words here and there. And sometimes if there is some question related to the difficult word itself, you'll have to use the context clues and get the best word, right? How to deal with difficult content? We saw this. You don't have to understand the whole passage. Sometimes understanding the first and the last para and the basic idea of this person is enough, right? Then you can start focusing on the questions. And with regard to question, whatever part is relevant, just read that part and answer questions. Does that make sense, Dia and Ananya? Are you able to recall the way you used to do practice? And do you have a strategy in mind now that whenever you do a passage, you will first spend 2 minutes just reading the passage, getting the basic idea. Don't get hyper about questions. Don't even think about the questions. Just try to immerse yourself in the passage, like what exactly is this passage all about. Yeah. And then you are going to do questions. When you do questions, how are you going to do it? You are going to read only the question stem. You're not going to read the options first. After understanding the question stem, you're going to go back to the passage, read that part, fill yourself with the right information, and then eliminate the wrong choices. Then you read the options, eliminate the wrong choices, and get to the right one quickly. Yeah. Do you do this right now? Dia, is this the strategy you follow? Dia, are you there? Dia gone for breakfast. Ananya, what strategy do you follow? Do you follow this?
No, I always used to read the options first, but this sounds better because the options used to confuse me at the time of finding the answer only.
Yeah. See, when you read the options, you're actually filling yourself with wrong information first. Yeah. Why should you put so much of time and effort on understanding the wrong options? Why should you not know the right option
Yes,
first?
sir. Yes, sir.
So, you're wasting a lot of time if you are reading the options. Sometimes some options don't even deserve your time. But if you read them first, you kind of, with a very fresh mind, you are reading the options and you get totally mixed up. And then you go, and then all the options start looking good.
Yes, sir, it happens.
Yeah. So this is super important that you do not read the options first. You read the
Question.
only the question stem, go to the passage, get the idea. Okay, these are the lines where something related to this question is said. I understand what this guy is saying. Now, when you know, it will be very easy to eliminate the wrong choices, the ones which are totally out of scope or which have got some extreme word like only, right? In all situations. So those kind of words which can easily be proven wrong, right? I only eat bread. Now anyone can prove me wrong. If once in a while I eat chapati, I will go wrong, right? So any such word which makes the whole statement very exclusive is prone to go wrong very easily. But this things strike our mind only when we are a little strategic about questions. If we are very emotional about them, then all options look right because we don't critically analyze every word. Yeah. So that's what. Okay. So yeah, speed versus precision. This is again very important. When you are beginning your journey, your focus should not be speed. Your focus should be precision. Get the questions right. Don't look at, like, when you are doing these 5 tests, as I told you, these 5 tests are to be done in a non-timed environment, right? Because these 5 tests are going to set the foundation for you. You are not testing yourself, you're learning. See, how do you learn some subject in your school? Do you set a clock that I must learn it in 65 minutes? Well, you do make a plan, but then it's not that you have to learn it in 65 minutes, not even 2 seconds before that, after that, isn't it? In test, it is going to be 65 minutes. But here, when you are learning, you can take more or less time to do the passages, right? So first precision, then speed. When you are doing practice, your purpose should be to learn the strategies, and there is no point focusing on time at that point in time. Okay. Yeah. Then this is again important point. Yeah. How to improve focus? I am not a master of pranayam and breathing, but it does help. Yeah, you have to have consistent focus for a long period of time. You cannot get like all mixed up or zoned out. Yeah, it is very easy to get zoned out when you are reading so much and when the things are require a lot of focus from your part, isn't it? So you have to stay put and do this exercise, the test. And for that, if you find something useful, there are so many things, and if you want, we can discuss about that later. But some simple breathing exercises where you focus on your breathing or do some simple pranayam, and you
What
have to
is the
have.
attitude of a winner?
The attitude of a winner is that, one question if you get wrong should not affect the next question. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You know, you are in a very, very challenging environment for sure. But then if you get, let's say, one question, if you are not able to understand it, just mark something, put a question mark there, go on. You have to be like a winner who is able to sacrifice a few questions here and there to get rest of the questions right. You should not go very emotionally about. You are not supposed to win the battles. Even if you lose some battles but win the war, it makes sense, isn't it? You don't have to win
Yes, sir,
every
it
battle.
makes sense.
Yeah, avoid distractions, of course. I mean, when you're doing it, switch off your mobile or sit at a place where nobody can disturb you, distract you. Even if you go to the drawing room and do the test, then ho gaya fir to, isn't it? So yeah. Context clues and discourse markers. So some very important words like but, however, some special quotations, quotes में कुछ लिखा हुआ है, right? कुछ dash के साथ लिखा हुआ है, कहीं colon लगा है. All these are clues for the answers. You'll find that most of the answers are in the sentences where there is a however or a but, right? Or there is something written in quotes, or there is some word which is a highlighter, you know. Finally, they found that, eventually they discovered that. So those kind of clues can actually set the whole sentence apart from the rest of them. So you have to look at these discourse markers and context clues. Now there are different types of passages, and for each of these passages you have to have a different strategy. For example, for a dual passage, you should read first passage first, answer questions related to that. There would be 3-4 of that from the first passage. Then you read the second passage and answer questions. When you read the second passage and answer next rest of the questions, there's some questions which have reference to both the passages, right? Don't read the passage, the whole of both passages. It's good to just know what is the basic idea there, and then you can start doing the questions. We have discussed this, that the questions can be divided into, actually the first is word based. You remember this, Ananya?
Yes, sir, I do.
Word based, line based. So do the easy questions first. It makes sense to do word based and line based questions first, then some para based questions, and at the end the passage based questions, right? Sometimes the information is very direct, like if they ask you to read from a graph, just go to that graph, look for what variables there are, and answer questions. Sometimes you have to make inference. It can be reasonably inferred that, right? Those kind of questions require a little bit of imagination. Sometimes there are questions based on underlying assumption. So you have to go a little deeper. We'll see some passages where there are underlying assumption based questions. Just to give you an example which is coming to my mind, if you remember that passage of how birds acquired the ability to fly, do you remember that? That scientist was there by the name Kendall, and he was challenged by some students, and
Okay, yes, sir. And the अजीब सी words का नाम some CH से.
chukras,
Yeah,
chukars,
chukras.
chukars or chukras, I don't know what was that, but
I
chukars.
think chukars, okay. I don't know.
So these baby chukars were there. In order to understand how birds acquired the ability to fly, this great scientist did this research on chukars. Now, the reason is that he cannot go into history by a time machine and go to some dinosaurs and ask them, how did you acquire the ability to fly? So he's doing this research. So the underlying assumption is what? The underlying assumption is that if you study these birds, you would pretty much understand how ancestral birds acquired the ability to fly. So this is the underlying assumption, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So, there are questions of that sort which require you to be a little imaginative and connect the dots to get the answer. And sometimes the questions are very direct. So, yeah. And different passages have different structures. Like if it's a narrative passage, there will be a story, and there are some common questions in that. If there is a science-based passage, there would always be an unidentified problem. Then there would be some hypothesis. Then there would be testing, and then there would be results, right? So you can identify the questions, isn't it? Ananya, are you there with me?
Yes, sir.
So different passages follow different skeleton. In a science passage, there is always an unidentified question. Then there are hypotheses. They do testing of the hypothesis, taking one control group and one experimental group. Control group is one which is in natural conditions. Experimental group is the one to which they give some special treatment, and then they compare it and they draw results and tell that this is right, this is wrong, sort of stuff. So this is a common structure for all the different types of science passages. One of the things which is challenging in science passages is that there is a lot of information and they contradict themselves, right? Like one experiment fails, then the second experiment is done, and we all get mixed up. In such cases, you can make a kind of flow chart that this is the first test, result is this, then second test, result is this. If there are multiple scientists coming up with different philosophy, like for example, I remember this passage wherein they talk about that younger Dryas, there is some long period of cold winters, and they came up with different theories that, you know, some external body hit Earth and that's why this cold period started. Other guys said no, there wasn't anything hitting Earth. No foreign object hit Earth. It was some kind of climatic change which happened, and because of which everywhere there was ice, and that was the reason. So it originated from Earth itself. There wasn't any foreign body giving rise to it. So there are those passages, and they contradict each other. So sometimes a person gets mixed up, like what exactly is this guy trying to say? Well, they are contradicting, so they are contradicting. Accept it the way it is, isn't it? Why should you have your bias? Do you remember that passage? I don't know whether you've done that, where they talk about water on moon, and these guys
Yes,
come up
sir.
with different
Yes,
theories.
sir.
One guy says water originated from moon, and there is, because moon is a part of Earth, so whatever is the composition of Earth has to be the composition of moon also. So this is one theory. Other guy says no, the hydrogen ions which you see on moon are from sun, so sun has sent some hydrogen, so moon cannot
Yes,
have
sir.
its.
Yeah, I've done this one.
So yeah, so for that you can just, this is the general pattern of these passages, and once we know that this is how we are supposed to analyze them, it becomes easy to know the flow. So why strategies are important, we pretty much know, because we are working in a very timed environment, and time is really less. You are supposed to take 52 decisions in 65 minutes. It's like a huge thing. It's not easy. 52 decisions based on some foreign information. You cannot go with the information in your mind, right? You give me a passage, I'll read it for 2 days and I'll do the questions. It's not the case. You get the information also at that time itself, and based on that, you are supposed to take those 52 decisions, means 52 questions in 65 minutes. So you have to have some strategy. If we don't have strategies, we will end up reading the passage like a novice, not answering the questions or answering them haphazardly. I think, yeah, we pretty much discussed all this. Answering techniques, we know what it is, and understanding the keywords and all. I think that's pretty much I wanted to cover in this session today, that we have to be master of some strategies and we have to have a plan. The plan for you is that first thing you have to do is you have to do 5 tests 2 to 3 times each, so that you understand the structure, the language, the nature of questions, how to analyze which question is difficult, which question is easy, those things very clearly. So when you become a master of 5 tests, you pretty much know all varieties of questions that come in SAT, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
At least you have this confidence in you that, oh, I know how to analyze and what are the different types of passages, what kind of questions are challenging questions and all. So after that, Yeah, so where is the plan? Here is the plan. First thing, we have to have a plan to learn. Second is plan to improve. So our plan to learn, in how many days do we want to finish these 5 tests? 10 days.
Yes, sir.
So this is 10 days. What about this? Then 10 questions, maybe 20 days. So,
Yes,
we'll
sir.
be done with this in a month's time, and then doing 5 tests in like maybe in another 10 days to 15 days. So this is the plan I have for a month's time, right? In a month, we should be done with this. So by the end of November, in fact, November mid, why should we say end of November? Today is 19th, right? So pretty much by 25th or so, we should be done. If our test is on 7th, 4th of 4th of December, we should be ready.
Yes, sir.
We should be ready by like 1st or 2nd, isn't it?
Yes, sir. We should
That
be.
should be the plan. So that last 2 days we go for a party and then take the test. All right. All right.
Got it, sir.
So this is the plan. I'm going to send this to you, and I also send you. So basically, which test? Test 1, 3, 5, 6, and 7. These are the
Yes,
tests.
sir. I won't do second one this time.
Yeah, yeah. So 1, 3, 5. So let's have this 1, 1, 1, 3, 5, 6, and 7. So these are the tests we want to do for the first 5 rounds. Let's do this. We'll plan about it later. So you have already done 1 and probably 3 also, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So you have to just do these 3 tests and then do these once again. Just twice would be enough so that you know everything about them. The way I'm going to ask you is I'll be asking some random questions from some random passages here and there. You'll have to tell me what was the story quickly, what was the correct answer, why is this the correct answer?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So these
Okay.
5 tests should be like fluent. You should be fluent with them. Like, why is this the right answer? Without looking at the right answer, you should remember it sort of like what it is. So it's it's like it's going to be like a school exam where you have to have this information already with you, and I'm going to quiz you on these questions. The reason is that it will give you a chance to think about the right strategy. So you'll be telling me the right answer. You will also be telling me why the wrong answers are the wrong answers, and what is this examiner trying to ask you in this particular question. So when your mind starts thinking like this, you'll start thinking like an examiner. And then you can apply the strategies in other tests also. Otherwise, we keep on doing lots and lots of tests, and then we are there at the same point, isn't it? Because we do not give a chance to ourselves to improve. Does that make sense? How do you score good marks in your school exams, especially maths?
So practicing again and again and from different books.
Yeah,
Like
the point is the
variety
questions
of.
that you get are different, right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, you do not get the same numbers, the
Yeah, so
same
you study
vocabulary.
the concept and then you apply.
Exactly. So that's the plan. I want you to understand the concepts so that you apply those concepts in the test. And while you are studying the concept, you do the same question again and again to understand the steps. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So today morning, 5 o'clock, I made this plan.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
And
good.
yeah. So yeah, I want you to follow this now. I'll send it to you.
Okay,
And
sir.
let's hope for the best. I'm sure you will get very good marks there.
Thank you, sir.
All the best. Dia, are you there or gone? Dia seems to have gone. All right. Or probably her mic is not working. All right. So have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Welcome. Bye-bye.